Hi, I hope all is well wherever you are. So, I just got back from my 30-minute walk. I went to go see the sunset, and it was nice. Sunset was gorgeous, and I tried to keep consistently walking for 30 minutes. I took a small break because I did want to sit down there and sing my two favorite songs these days. But yeah, I had a good day. Thankful. I'm so thankful. But the excitement tonight is I actually started typing. I started writing my journal slash memoir. I am 400 words in. I said, because you know what? I was like, you keep on putting this off and putting this off. Like, just right, Brandy, just right. So I started writing. I cracked open her, well, I'll say our notebook that, I wrote my little. And think about it, I've been writing notes for this memoir. I've been writing notes. I just haven't started writing. And then this is the last little piece of, this is her last entry that she wrote. So we are sharing this notebook. And then I highlighted a little special, part that she wrote about me. And so I'm sitting it right in front of me so that I can look at it and it keeps me motivated. I don't know if that's the right word, but it just keeps me in a good place to write this. And now that I know, like, it's not my intention to like mass produce this or anything like that. Now that it feels like a very personal thing, I feel good about writing and the way that I want to. And what the crazy thing is like if you look at as many books as I do, which anybody that's an avid reader will understand, the formats of books, they come in all shapes and sizes and designs and all of that. I've seen poetry book that's literally one line per page. One line per page. The design is not like a standard paragraph, type format. And those books exist. And so it's just really trying not to get hung up on perfection. And right now, all I have to do is just write. So I've started. And the beginning of this is, of course, because this is just me documenting my 30s. Because they have been so like transformative and peaceful. You know what? Because I did the trend I saw on TikTok with women in their 30s, and the music that goes with it is Check Up On It by Beyonce, the live version. So I participated in that trend. I don't do them often, but I was like, okay. I kept on seeing like all of these gorgeous behind beautiful brown women. And I was like, yes, 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 yes. I'm all over this. But in doing that, in my caption, I was like, I'm 6 years into my 30s. So I'm 36 years old. And it's just like, I think back, and this is honestly thus far my most favorite decade of my life. And this is my 4th decade here on this earth in this lifetime. I had a good childhood, being born to the age of 10 is cool. From 10 to 20, okay. From 20 to 30, from 20 to 30, you know, um, blessings and lessons. Blessings and lessons, okay? Heavy on the lessons. And then from my 30s up until now has been just very, very transformative. And then, like, getting through some of the rough patches that have come along, but like the peace is unmatched. Like, I've never ever felt this good and this sense of oneness ever. I've never experienced anything like it until I got into my 30s. So, like, already, even through all of it, because, the very beginning of my 30s was me celebrating my birthday with my family, going skydiving with my sister 2 days later. And then, of course, we lost my sister that same year in July. And then, it goes on from there. And then now I'm here. So, like, I'm ready. I'm prepared. I know that I am going to have to travel down memory lane, which I already am for the very, very beginning, because it's kicking off with the skydive, which, rewriting this from memory, it just made me excited all over again. Like, I remember that day like it was yesterday, and how exciting it was and scary, but like, I couldn't believe we did it. I could not believe we actually did it. I mean, got on a plane, jumped out that sucker, and just free falling until the parachute was pulled. But like, and I can say, like, something that I remember just by rewriting was the weather. Like, the weather was perfection, but the kicker is that as hot as it was that day, I was not expecting it to be so cold that high up in the sky. When those plane doors opened, it was freezing, which was so insane because literally just on the ground, it was blazing hot, like break out in a sweat hot. But being, what was it, 14, 15, 16,000 feet up in the air, it was freezing up there, like polar opposites. For it to be the same day, the same sky, everything. That right there took me for a loop. I couldn't believe it. And then, I remember sitting at the edge of that door just before we didn't even jump. We kind of just over it. And then just free falling. And it was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I'm really doing this. Like, I am really, really doing this. And then, dang, I wish I could remember, but I can't. So before we actually did the skydive, when we were doing like the waivers and getting the gear and all that stuff, we got to choose, because I had got us the package where the tandem partners, they filmed and took pictures and all that stuff. So we had to pick 3 songs to go with our video. I wish I knew off the top of my head what her 3 songs were. But anyway, I know she picked 3 songs, and each part that was selected for her video, it somehow reflected life and death, like living and dying. Like, and my mom had caught that later on. But yeah, those were the three songs she selected. And if you think about it, all this stuff happened before she even got sick, before she got, diagnosed and everything. And it's just amazing how, like, foreshadowing, there you go, foreshadowing works as you're living life. And that happened a couple of times, in my journey since I entered my 30s, foreshadowing. I think I mentioned the other one with the tissues from my birthday. Did I talk about that? Just in case I haven't. So the other foreshadowing incident was the party game I had for my birthday. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this. The party game I had for my 30th birthday, where I had to empty out all of these Kleenex boxes for a dancing game. I didn't want to throw the tissue away, so I bagged, and it was a good 8 to 10 boxes of Kleenex boxes. I took all of the tissue out and stuffed them in grocery bags. And I remember, I was like, I have no idea when and how I'm going to use all of this tissue. None. So I put them in the grocery bag, tied them up, and I put them in the top of my closet. And I was like, I'll just get to it, use it a little bit at a time. I'll get to it when I get to it. And I just left them there. And that was my birthday, February 28th, 2019. And then literally 4 months later, 4 months and 6 days later, my sister passes away. And from that point on, all of that tissue was used in less than a year through grief. And you see how that works? Like, I didn't know at the time, and it's so crazy because, like, you do not realize this stuff as it's happening. And I just didn't catch on to certain parts of the stories until, like, I am essentially out of the eye of the hurricane, or the out of the storm, or however you want to, phrase it. But it's not until the dust settles that I was able to see it, with new eyes, essentially. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, and I am very aware of stuff now. So I'm looking forward to this journey. Like, I've already had one little tiny, emotional moment, but it was good in a sense. I know, like, I know it's to be expected. And I feel like that is another part of, the fear about doing this and opening up my old notebooks and rereading entries and stuff that I've written in the past, that it's going to open certain doors that will trigger a certain amount of grief within me. And, it's life. But I feel good. I feel good. I'm happy. I'm excited. And I love that in any way, shape, or form that I can, and I do. I keep my sister close to me. I keep her name on my tongue. I speak of her often. And I love that for me, She is my reason. And it's so like it's so amazing because like I've got to experience my life in a physical sense with Brianna, but I had no idea what the spiritual experience would be, and having, been living it for the last 5 years and 8 months. It's been so beautiful, so confirming. And I feel just as close to her. And even though like our interactions are few and far between, things like, her pictures that are still up on our refrigerator, and, seeing her handwritten stuff in the journals, and even my own personal notebook that I have of all the letters that I've written her since she passed, they all keep me close to her. And of course the dreams. So like in this moment, I feel like her big sister. Like in this moment right here, right now, I don't feel sisterless. Even though I can't see her, touch her, hear her, the connection just still feels so strong. And that's it. That's all I got today. I hope you had a great evening. I hope you sleep well, wake up refreshed and blessed and ready to take on a new day, God willing. We wake up to see it. All right. And I'll see you around.